Are you still using outdated money habits that are keeping you poor in 2025? In a financial landscape that is more challenging than ever, with rising cost of living, mounting debt, and economic uncertainty, many of us feel trapped. Yet, despite these pressures, countless individuals cling to habits that keep them stuck in a circle of poverty. From impulsive spending sprees to neglecting savings, these habits aren't just poor choices, they are barriers to financial freedom. So what are these habits and how can we break free from them to secure a brighter financial future? Start off with the first and foremost habit you should start incorporating into your finances so you don't end up being broke at the end of every month. You have probably heard the advice to pay yourself first when it comes to managing money. While that's good advice in many situations, there's another angle to consider, especially if you are just starting out or managing a tight budget. What if, instead, you paid yourself last, responsible ways that helps you get your financial house in order? When you are starting to manage your money or dealing with financial pressure, it's essential to take care of the basic first: your rent, utilities, food, transportation, and bills that keep your life running. That is what I call the foundation approach. Stephen Covey talks about prioritizing the most important things first in the 7 habits of highly effective people. In the same way, you should secure the essentials that keep you stable, like housing, utilities, and groceries, before focusing on anything else. These are the minimum you need to survive and maintain your quality of life. However, once these basic expenses are covered, the next step is to focus on the future before you splurge or spend on wants. This is where you can implement a pay yourself last mentality in a practical way. The idea here is that once your necessities are accounted for, you leave whatever is left for your savings, investment, or debt repayment. This way, you ensure that you are not sacrificing your future financial health while still fulfilling today's immediate needs. It's a mindset shift that encourages financial disciplines. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy life or treat yourself. It just means you prioritize what truly matters before spending on things you don't need. Now, the second biggest mistake people are still making is being stuck in bad debt. Now, what's bad debt? So bad debt is one of the biggest things that keeps people stuck in a circle of financial struggle. Bad debt is actually the money you borrow to buy things that don't help you make money or increase in value over time. The thing to be noted here is we are talking about credit card debt, payday loans, or taking out loans to purchase things like gadgets, clothes, or vacations that you can't really afford at the moment. These are the things that won't generate income or build wealth for you. In fact, they only lose value as time passes. Now, the real problem with bad debt is how it keeps you poor and destroys your finances. For one, bad debt often comes with high interest rates. Think about credit cards, for example. The interest on what you owe piles up quickly, and before you know it, you are not just paying off the stuff you bought, you are mostly paying interest. This creates a cycle where you are stuck, unable to make real progress in paying down the debts because so much of your money is going towards interest payments instead of actually reducing what you owe. And unlike good debt, like a mortgage or a student loan that helps you build long-term wealth or improve your career, bad debt doesn't pay you back. On top of that, the stress of constantly worrying about bills and how to make ends meet with growing debt can affect your health, relationships, and overall mental well-being. It's exhausting. So what should you do instead? The first step is to avoid using credit for non-essentials. If you don't have the cash for something, don't put it on credit. Wait until you can afford it. Credit should be used for necessary expenses, not for items that you don't really need right now. If you already have bad debt, focus on paying off high-interest debt first. Credit cards are usually the worst offenders. It's easier to manage the rest. It also helps to create a budget so you can see where your money is going. This way, you can allocate funds to pay off debt and save, even if it's just a small amount each month. Another key is building an emergency fund. Having this cushion means you won't rely on credit cards when unexpected expenses pop up, giving you more control over your finances. Now, this has to be the deadliest habit for your finances and money. It's like a slow poison which is slowly eating up your money. Let me explain how. It might seem like a small thing, but it is a game changer when it comes to managing your finances. Not knowing where your money is going makes it nearly impossible to control your spending, save effectively, or make smart decisions with your finances. Now, just imagine you are earning $3,000 a month, but you have no idea how much you are spending on things like groceries, utilities, or entertainment. You are just living day to day, swiping your card without paying attention to how much is coming in and how much is going out. At the end of the month, you check your bank account and realize you have very little left, if anything at all. In fact, many people live like this, and it is a huge reason why they are unable to save or pay off debt. According to a study by the National Endowment for Financial Education, about 60% of Americans don't keep a budget, which is a staggering number. They simply don't track their income and expenses, and as a result, they end up in financial trouble. In the Total Money Makeover by Dame Ramsey, it talks about how people are not tracking their money, often find themselves stuck in debt because they are not aware of where their money is going. Ramsey emphasizes the importance of creating a monthly budget as one of the first steps in getting out of debt and building wealth. If you are not tracking your spending, you are essentially flying blind, and that is a recipe for disaster. When you track your income and expenses, you get a clear picture of your financial health. For example, if you are tracking your expenses and realize you are spending $200 a month on streaming services, but you are not even using them regularly, you might cancel them and save that money. Yes, that might not seem like much, but let's say you find a few more areas to cut back on groceries, entertainment, or impulse buys, and in a few months, you could free up an extra $500 or $1,000. That's money you can put towards an emergency fund, investing, or paying off debt. At the end of the day, if you don't know where your money is going, you are setting yourself up for financial struggles. We have all heard that investing is important, but here is the thing. The longer you wait to start investing, the more money you leave on the table. I know it might sound like a small thing at first, but trust me, procrastinating on investment can be one of the biggest mistakes you can make when it comes to building wealth. Nowadays, a lot of people wait because they feel like they need to have enough money to start investing. They think they need a big lump sum of cash to get started. But that is just not true. You don't need to wait until you have thousands to invest. You can start with as little as $50 or $100 a month and still see incredible growth over time. The real enemy here is time. If you wait too long to invest, you are giving up the most valuable asset you have, time itself. Let me put in perspective. Imagine you are 25 years old and you start investing $100 a month into an index fund that returns around 7% annually. By the time you are 65, you could have over $200,000. That is the power of compound interest. But what if you wait until you are 35 or 40 to start? Even if you invest the same $100 a month, you will end up significantly less by the time you retire. Waiting means you lose out on those extra years of compounding, which is what really makes your money grow. In The Richest Man in Babylon, George S. Clason talks about the importance of saving and investing early. He uses the parable of the golden rule of investing, which says that your money works for you when you give it time to grow. Clason emphasizes that the sooner you start, the more opportunities you give yourself to earn. Now here, he's not talking about playing the stock market for short-term gains. He's talking about the slow, steady growth of your money through consistent investing over time. The earlier you start, the more you benefit from compound growth. And here is something many people don't realize. Waiting to invest doesn't just cost you potential earnings. It keeps you stuck in a circle of insecurity. The longer you delay, the more you rely on your job or other sources of income for your future financial security. If you wait too long, you may find yourself needing to work way into your 60s or even 70s just to make ends meet because you didn't start investing early enough to build the wealth you need for your retirement. So, if you want to avoid staying stuck financially in 2025, start by breaking these habits. Stop procrastinating on investing, get control of your spending, ditch bad debt, and track where your money goes. It's about taking small steps now to build a solid foundation for your future. If you are serious about breaking these bad habits, subscribe for more tips and start making more brilliant money moves today. What's the first change you are going to make? Let me know below. You're welcome.